Hey guys, welcome back. Joe here from 9 to 5ers, and we're going to be talking about something that is a little bit weird, and that is being weird with your money. Make sure that you are being weird with your money. So, what does that actually mean? Well, uh, today's day and age that we live in, people are out there, and if you look, you start Googling, how much people have, what is the average credit card debt, what is the average savings plan, what is the average emergency fund that people have, how much they have in their retirement accounts. It is not a positive thing to look at. It's not glamorous to look at. Nobody talks about that, and that's why that we say that you should be definitely going against the grain when it comes to your money. Be weird with your money. Definitely be weird with your money. So what do normal people do with their money? Well, normal people live paycheck to paycheck. They're up to their eyeballs in debt. They argue with their spouses about money all the time. That's actually the number one reason why people get divorced. It has to do with money. They have a budget instead of a freedom plan, and they don't have enough money in their savings for retirement based off of their age. They're not kind of tracking it and following it along, of like we should be here if we're this age, and we're on that pace. They have a ton of student loan debt. Unfortunately, they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they are doing the terrible thing of the buy now, pay later type of furniture and appliances, which I think is just an absolute horrible idea. They don't have side hustles. They only have one source of income, or maybe if they're both, if they're with a spouse, maybe they have two sources of income, which is, two single sources of income. And they set and forget their retirements. I don't like any of these things here. I pretty much do the opposite of almost all of these things here. Yes, my wife and I do have some debts that we're focusing on and we're paying down right now, but we do not live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm 100% a proponent of having multiple sources of income. People think out there that it's just like, well, I got a good job, I got a degree, and that should be it. I put in all the hard work, I did everything I was supposed to do. Yeah, you put in a bunch of hard work and you did everything you were supposed to do, for that career, and you are good there, I would say. But man, everybody is one downsize away, one bad economic swing away. Everybody is, one consultant firm that comes in just says, listen, you need to get rid of this department. And guess what? That's your department. That's a bad thing. And if you live alone, you basically, if you lose your job, that's 100% of your income that disappears. If you have a spouse and you guys both work, then potentially 50% of your income disappears. Generally, spouses don't make the same amount of money. That's a rarity, I would say. So you're either going to lose the majority of your income or a significant portion of your income, which is still going to affect your livelihood. People live off of whatever income they have coming in. That's the paycheck to paycheck mentality. I highly suggest, and what my wife and I do is that we live off of one source of income, and then the other person's income is the nest egg. That is the stage 4 income. That is the building wealth income. That's what I'm focusing on in my day-to-day operations for my business. And my business is, my wife and I, we have multiple sources of income. We're not saying this to like say that that's like a brag or whatever. We're saying this is totally doable. My wife and I, we are not geniuses by any means. We are just very, very smart about our money, and we're very diligent about where our money goes. And yes, my wife and I probably do have spats about money every once in a while, but it's not really core stuff that we're trying to focus on. It's never, those fights of just like, our son can't go to college because, you spent all the money on at the dog track type of thing. Like, it's not like that level of financial stuff. It's just kind of like, it's little miscommunications that are here and there. And my wife and I don't keep up with the Joneses by any means. I've noticed that people that do that, man, it's just like it's a never-ending revolving door of like I have to beat this other person, and I noticed that with some family members that I had. My wife and I, we drive late model used vehicles that are older vehicles, and they look decent. They don't have rust, the bumper's not hanging off of them, but they're not new by any means. And both of our cars have over 100,000 miles on them. And yeah, we're going to get them replaced at some point in time. But I've noticed people that are related to me, they show up in a brand new vehicle, like 0 miles on it, and it is sparkling clean new. And I go and look it up of how much that vehicle cost just because I was curious, and I'm just like, holy moly, they spent 40 grand on a vehicle. Like that is like 5 of our cars combined. Now, they didn't buy that vehicle cash. They bought it on a payment plan and they're making payments over time, but they had to have the newest vehicle with all of the bells and whistles on it. And they always kind of placate it with, or they say like, oh, it has the highest safety ratings. That's why I bought it. I care about my children. It's like, yeah, I care about my kids too, but I also want them to live. I want them to go to college. I want them to, experience. I want to experience life. And like my car's not a death trap. It's just older. It just has way more miles on it than yours does. Like there's not very many cars out there nowadays that are not safe. So that kind of like, oh, we care about safety, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Everybody cares about safety. Like you really care about keeping up with the Joneses. You are the Joneses to somebody else. And that's the whole buy now, pay later. And people don't just stop with their cars on that. They go with their furniture and their appliances on that. You ever been into a house and they got brand new this, brand new that, and you're just like, you're thinking in the back of your head, it's just like, I know what you do for a living. Like, how did you afford all of this? And they're like, oh man, we just buy now, pay later on it, like 0% for 60 months. It's just like, oh my goodness, please don't do that. Please don't do that. If you can't afford it now, don't buy it. Now, I understand that houses and maybe even potentially a car, like you might have to take a loan out on it. I get that, but man, aggressively pay that thing down. So be weird with your money. Don't do what everybody else in the office is doing unless everybody else in the office is working towards financial freedom. That's why you guys come here, because we're the weird people. We're the ones that are shooting out information that is not popular. Like none of this information that we're saying here is ever going to get popular with the big mainstream media, just because of the simple fact that it doesn't sell. Like saving money, paying off your house, like there's no advertisers that are going to get behind that. Like how can somebody want to get behind that and promote that? They don't have any dog in the fight. Student loan debts, pay those things off. And remember, like a budget is great in the fact that, yeah, you're watching where your money goes is, but watch our video on freedom plans. That's what you really need to get into. That was the big needle mover in my wife and I's life. And we have focused on that, and it's been great for us. And it's been, a nonstop positive in our life. And that whole set it and forget it retirement plans. Yeah, you need to set it up for sure. They did that, but the forget it part of it, don't do that. Make sure that you are focusing on your retirement. I don't mean you need to watch the stock markets every single day but I mean, educate yourself on some financial literature once a month, once a week, whatever it is. You don't have to be Warren Buffett, but you do need to be checking up on your finances. Are we on the right place? Where are we hitting with our taxes? What's going on? Are we prepared for this? Do we have an HSA set up? Like what needs to be done? What's the next level that we need to hit? Very, very important, guys. So make sure that you are being weird with your money. And hopefully by now you mean you being weird with your money is you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're buying furniture cash and you're paying off those debts aggressively and fast as you possibly can. And you have multiple sources of income. So thank you guys so much. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please let us know down in the comments how you're being weird with your money, and check us out on the next one. Have a good day.